every single year. But he also has the most playoff wins in his first 7 seasons without a title. Maybe my favorite conversation of the day. James, it comes down to legacies. You play sports not just for money, not just for your family, but you play sports for how in the world you will be remembered.
Yeah.
What would a finals win do for Jayson Tatum's legacy?
A finals would just put a stamp on his Hall of Fame career if he retired after this championship. Jayson Tatum retired if they won the championship this year, he's a Hall of Fame player, and I think it just puts a stamp on that. He's 26 years old, as Joy touched on yesterday. He's only going to get better. He's a walking bucket when he is out there. He's a premier scorer in this league, so you better believe it's going to be some more All-Stars coming. It's going to be some more All-NBA teams coming for him. So if he wins a championship, it's just a stamp on a Hall of Fame career, and he's only in year 7 right now, and everything that he's accomplished, that's all this does. And once you get this first championship, then all that pressure is off your back to go chase another one.
Now we're on 2 championships.
Go chase another one. I mean, they got the team. They got the team. They in the East.
Take it easy.
Whoa. Got to get the first one, though. Got to get the first one.
I think it depends on how it's won. I agree with everything that you're saying as far as, having a Hall of Fame career. I mean, he has incredible statistics. He has, 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. I don't even want to run down through. We know what Jayson Tatum does. But as far as his legacy goes, what if Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP?
Front row.
Oh, because he's going to win it. Trust me.
Front row.
He's going to win it. The better player going to win that.
I said yesterday, I don't really get too caught up in Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I think Jayson Tatum is an incredible player. Yep. I think he's a Hall of Fame player. I enjoy watching him play. I don't really need to compare him. I think we've seen enough of this duo together to know how they complement each other. And I think Jaylen Brown is a very unique and probably undervalued player in a lot of ways. So I think it's great that he won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. But if we're talking about the narrative and the legacy, if Jaylen Brown were to win the Finals MVP, while Jayson Tatum would still be a champion, and I'm sure he would have games where he contributed to their winning, because I don't think they're going to win without him playing well, that would be an interesting turn of events. And it would make it you'd have to listen to the conversation about who the better player is. Certainly who the closer or the lead of the team is. And I wanted to go back because you remember the 2022 NBA Finals, which was the last time that they were in the finals against the Warriors. Remember, Game 1, he had 12 points.
I forget. I know his numbers.
I know. We didn't get to Shady yet, but I'm sure he has these as well. And, of course, Game 6. Notoriously, Game 6, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. He was 6 for 18, 33.3 field goal percentage. Yes, I know Shady... That's what we need.
James,
honestly,
did you know that?
Shady cam. So that doesn't mean that he's not an all-time great player. It doesn't mean that he's not a star in the league. It doesn't mean that he's not a walking bucket. But when we get to the postseason, when we get to the finals, this is where the legends are made. Legacy, legends, all of those things are when it matters most. And this is an opportunity for him to rewrite all of that. So what it does for his legacy, I think it depends on how the finals go.
That's very well said. I think it changes what rooms he enters. In life, I realized as soon as I moved to Hollywood, it's about what rooms you got access to. I got access to a lot more rooms now. I didn't even realize meetings used to exist, and now I'm in those meetings. Joy, we've had these conversations. Like, we sitting here tweeting about things, we talking about things in our group chats, not realizing the decision makers are actually meeting about those things. Y'all just don't know where
they've already been made 6 months ago.
No doubt about it. Life is about what rooms you have access to. Right now, Jayson Tatum is in a room with the likes of Devin Booker. He's in a room with the likes of Spidey Mitchell. He's in a room with all of these offensive phenomenal scorers that haven't yet won a chip yet with the likes of Luka Doncic. They're in the same room. But if Tatum wins a title, you get to walk out of that room. You get to walk out of that room, and at least you can start to see what room Giannis is in. Now, you might not have the MVP, so you might not get to fully share a room with Giannis, but at least you get to walk out of the room with the phenomenal offensive talents that do not have championships. Life is all about what kind of rooms you can enter into. Right now, Tatum is in a room with Bradley Beal. He's in a room with these really, really good scorers. Tracy McGrady is in that room.
Right.
He's in that room. T-Mac is in that room. T-Mac was one of my favorite players. I had the shoes. I had the Adidas joints. I had the black ones with the navy blue stripes. I had them.
T-Mac was nice.
He was nice. Maybe the nicest.
Cold.
He was maybe the nicest. But he sat in that room without a chip. And he was sitting in that room with Paul Pierce. But then Paul Pierce got to walk out of that room.
Yeah, I gotta
Because
go.
Paul Pierce won a chip.
That's true.
Life
Said
is
I got
about
to go.
what rooms you have to sit in, what
Tatum.
rooms you get to sit in. Tatum will walk out of the chipless room with winning one, and that is an illustrious room that he gets to walk into, 2-5. That's
Yeah,
what I'm at.
that was a pretty good take. Dang, I gotta go after that. Well, I'm outside the room. I ain't in the room. I'm outside. I would say this, though. I think it makes him legit when I say that because there's a lot of offensive scorers, right? And you talk about, like, T-Mac. Like, T-Mac was phenomenal. I don't know if you remember that. He was a scorer, right?
Yes.
Vince Carter was a hell of a scorer. It was cold.
Talk about it.
Right? One of my favorites, Allen Iverson. He was crazy with it. But
What an MVP, yeah.
to put him in that category, I can't do it. You know, I always respect my greats, right? And I always listen to Charles Barkley. And he always talks about, yo, I was a hell of a player. I don't know if y'all forgot, I was nice. And I remember Charles Barkley being nice. But he always says this, but I can't sit in that room and talk with Shaq.
Yeah.
Because why? He got a ring. Kevin Garnett was saying something the other day at Air watching the game, and he was saying, you know, there's a lot of great players, but what makes you different? Yeah, Tatum can score with the best of them, right? I mean, 4-time All-NBA, you know how hard that is to do, right? But are you different? Because we've seen that before. And if you don't win a ring, I can't even put you in that category. And he's a Celtics great talking like that. So as he's talking, I'm listening. And as I'm listening, I'm writing. I'm like, wow, so if Tatum doesn't win his championship,
He ain't different.
what is he?
Yeah.
He ain't different.
Yeah.
He's the same superstar scorer we've seen all these years. And he's 26, right? And then if you don't
Still in
win,
that room.
it's going to keep happening. So I would say if he gets a ring, I think it would make him look more legit, and he'll be a difference maker, and he'll be in that room.
Yeah, ooh, well said. Yo, today's show been fire. It's not cooling down.
Are you hot, though?
soon.
Because you got all the buttons, so you must be hot. It's fiery hot. I get it. Should I take my buttons off?
No, don't bless him with the chest today, man.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.